Hello, my name is Stephen Brown. I'm a partner at Reddy Neumann PC in Houston, Texas. And today I wanted to talk about new Office L1As. Now, in the employment-based immigration context, many people are familiar with L1As for executives or managers, but new Office L1As are not as utilized as I think they could be as we become a more global economy with foreign entities doing business in the U.S. that need to start a physical office in the U.S. So what is a new Office L1A? New Office L1A is an option when the U.S. company or office has been doing business in the U.S. for less than 1 year. This visa option allows a foreign company to send certain individuals to the U.S. to get the U.S. business off and running before it becomes fully operational. Even if the foreign entity has been in existence for quite some time, if the U.S. entity has only been doing business for 1 year or less, a new Office L1A is the correct filing for the L1 visa. So the new Office L1 is very similar to most L1s in their requirements. You'll have to show the qualifying relationship between the U.S. and the foreign entity. You'll have to show that the foreign employee has been working for 1 year within the last 3 with the foreign entity, and that the foreign employee qualifies for an L1, meaning that they're managerial or executive. But there are 3 additional requirements for a new Office L1. First, the U.S. petitioner must have secured sufficient physical premises to house the new office. All this means is you've got to have a business office. Next, the foreign national can't just have been working in any position for 1 year within the last 3. They have to have been working in a managerial or executive position for at least 1 year within the last 3 years with the foreign entity. And then finally, the petitioning company is going to have to show that the intended U.S. office will support an executive or managerial position within 1 year of the petition. So what does USCIS look for that? Because that's not as intuitive as the other options. Here, USCIS is going to look into whether the proposed nature of the office, describing the scope of the entity, org structure, financial goals, all are aligned, that the size of the U.S. investment and the financial ability of the foreign entity is able to pay the employee and can begin doing business in the U.S., and the organizational structure of the foreign entity to determine if that criteria is met. Consider submitting things like formal business plans that are professionally done, detailing staffing levels, benchmarks, timetables, financial outlook, and more. You know, in a recent Supreme Court case, Fifth Circuit case, not a Supreme Court case. In a recent Fifth Circuit case about an L1A denial, this issue was really the meat of the court case. The foreign entity had only $100,000 in assets, yet estimated that the U.S. entity would need $300,000 in operating costs. And USCIS, among other reasons, denied the case, saying that it didn't look like that the intended U.S. office could support a managerial position because the finances didn't seem to match up. So I mentioned earlier that regular L1As are very similar to new Office L1As, but there are a few things to distinguish them. A new Office L1A is only going to be approved for 1 year, regardless of any other qualifications for a regular L1. And in this instance, USCIS is going to require to prove that the position is being supported and can be supported moving forward. At that time, after that year, or before you hit the 1 year, of course, the U.S. entity can seek to extend the L1A, showing that it's grown in sufficient size to support a managerial or executive level position. So, again, to kind of recap, new Office L1As are for when a foreign entity kind of has tenuous business with the U.S., but needs to come to the U.S. to start up a full entity and an office in the U.S. and build that staffing level. If you think the new Office L1A is something that would interest your company, please consult a qualified immigration attorney like our law firm, Reddy Neumann PC. in order to consider all of your options. Thank you and have a great day.